Now for a real rags to riches story. In 7 days, 36-year-old Welshman Paul Potts went from selling mobile phones to winning Britain's Got Talent and signing a £1 million record deal. His debut rendition of Puccini's famous aria, Nessun Dorma, was not quite Pavarotti, yet there was something about the portly Englishman with his crooked teeth and his hard luck story that made him an instant sensation. Within hours of his performance, millions of internet users had started clicking on to see him on YouTube. Paul Potts is in Australia this week as part of a world tour to promote his first album, which has already hit the #1 spot in Britain and across much of Europe. Deborah Cornwall reports.
Paul, what are you here for today, Paul?
To sing opera.
OK. Ready when you are.
When Paul Potts first fronted the celebrity judges on Britain's Got Talent, they saw a tubby little man in a cheap suit. Then he started to sing. The audience, even the judges, were moved to tears.
So you work at Car Phone Warehouse and you did that. I wasn't expecting that.
No, neither was I. I think that we've got a case of a little lump of coal here that is going to turn into a diamond.
Within hours, millions were clicking onto YouTube to see his performance. And by the end of the week, Paul Potts was a household name after walking off with the first prize.
Just thank you for believing in me. It's just absolutely bonkers.
He also landed a £1 million record deal, his debut album topping the charts from Britain to Asia, and launching him as the global darling of TV chat shows.
Welcome to you, Paul. Congratulations. The people here love you.
England suchte den Superstar klassischer Musik und fand Paul Potts. Look at him now. You're James Bond.
People are going absolutely potty for Britain's Got Talent winner, Paul Potts.
憑住呢一把咁動聽嘅歌聲 ，Paul Potts. Please welcome the magnificent Paul Potts.
All my life I've felt insignificant. After that first audition, I realised I am somebody. I'm Paul Potts.
Billed by his publicists as a shy loser who was bullied at school, Paul Potts has told and retold his story of how he met his wife on an internet chat room while stacking supermarket shelves to pay for his opera lessons. Better still, a run of bad health 4 years ago had left him deeply in debt, forcing him to give up his dream of showbiz.
It's surreal in many ways. I don't think my feet have touched the ground yet. Sometimes it just feels like it's happened to someone else.
In Australia this week, as part of his worldwide promotion tour, it's unlikely we'll be able to ignore the Pottsy juggernaut.
He's a snaggle-toothed nerd who works at Car Phone Warehouse, and then out of this mouth comes this incredibly passionate music. He's got a great act, and in a way, whether he can sing or not is not the question. It's the package. You just play from the top, maybe.
Simon Tajay produced the ABC documentary series Opportunity, which tracked the progress of aspiring opera stars. He says Paul Potts' extreme makeover has elevated him to the world stage, but he's a long way from being an opera star.
Opera is a brutal business, much worse than TV talent shows. If he wants to do it, he's up against some of the most competitive people he's ever going to meet.
Classical music critic and author Norman Lebrecht says it's a great sob story, but it's instant opera for an audience who've never heard the real thing.
It's the audience for the fat lady and the bearded lady and the babies with two heads. And the judges, who have themselves, in all probability, never set foot inside an opera house, don't know what an opera means, said, "Isn't this wonderful?" Because compared to the dog that walked backwards, yes, it is.
I thought you were absolutely fantastic.
Someone once said that explaining opera to someone who's never been is a bit like describing an orgasm to someone who's never had one. With Potsy, listening to him is a bit like blowing your nose or scratching a mosquito bite. You know, it's mildly satisfying, but it's not the greatest sex you've ever had.
OK, and then scooting out to us, coming out.
Opera Australia executive producer Stuart Maunder says the critics are being far too harsh on Paul Potts. He may not be high art, but he is making a lot of people very happy.
I think it's particularly peevish if people say that he can't sing, because he clearly can. Look, I hope the boy does well. I wish him nothing but well. And if he's making a fortune now by doing this tour based on his success in England, I hope to hell it lasts as long as he can. Good on him.
Despite, you know, my life changing, it doesn't have to change who I am. And I'll always be that slightly nervous guy. I just love being able to do it, and I'm, you know, truly humbled by the fact that there do seem to be a lot of people that do enjoy what I do as well.
Deborah Cornwall with that story.